The aim of our experiment is to draw a graph between the ratio of maximum height to the range of a particle versus the tangent of the angle of projection, and to also show the slope of the graph is equal to 0.25. Our experimental setup consists of a projectile shooter which is made out of recycled materials, a small spherical ball which acts as our projectile, a protractor which is used to measure the angle of projection, a 30 cm scale and a tape measure to take the necessary range and height measurements. To compensate the height of the projectile shooter itself, an elevated surface was taken as the plane. The surface was slightly elevated by about 4 cm. Hence 4 cm was subtracted from the maximum height measurements of the projectile accordingly. Two sets of readings are taken for each angle of projection to improve the accuracy and precision of our experiment. For a particular angle of projection, first the range of the projectile r was measured. Then at r/2 distance from the origin, a scale was kept vertically to measure the maximum height of the projectile. For our first reading, the angle of projection is set to 30 degrees. The projectile is shot at the same angle of projection twice. First to measure the range of the projectile and then to measure the maximum height of the projectile. The same process is repeated for our second reading, where the angle of projection is set to 45 degrees. We also note that the range of the projectile is maximum for this angle. For our third reading, the angle of projection is set to 60 degrees. As the maximum height of this projectile is much greater than 30 cm, therefore a tape measure was used to take the reading. With these three readings, we can draw our required graph between the ratio of the maximum height to the range of a particle versus the tangent of the angle of projection, and its slope can also be calculated. This concludes our experiment.